Welcome to Official History World, where history comes alive. Explore the events, empires, and people that shaped our world. Subscribe and be part of our journey through time.
Premium Forever Love necklace to my beautiful love. Buy this necklace, click my YouTube video description product link, and shop now.
Constitutional Conversations is a series of discussions by America's leading scholars about the principles, framing, ratification, and implementation of constitutional government in the United States. This series is hosted by the James Madison Memorial Fellowship Foundation of Alexandria, Virginia.
Revolutions are complex events, and if you try to explain an event as significant and long-running as the American Revolution was, historians and scholars can come up with any of a number of explanations. But at bottom, I'm one of those scholars who happens to think that there was one big cause or one insoluble problem that best explained why the revolution occurred. And that problem, for a modern reader, seems curiously abstract. It's essentially a dispute about the nature of political authority within the British Empire. It's essentially a dispute about whether or not a parliament sitting in Westminster, in the metropolitan capital of London, had the right to legislate in all cases whatsoever for the American colonies. It's a dispute that really began essentially back in the mid-1760s with the enactment of the Stamp Act in 1765, with its repeal in 1766, and then with the simultaneous passage of a bill known as the Declaratory Act, which followed actually an example set for Ireland, which says Parliament has the right to legislate, quote unquote, in all cases whatsoever in affairs relating to the Americans. Americans oppose that argument on a number of grounds. The most famous one that we all know is taxation without representation is tyranny. But there's actually a claim larger than the claim of taxation. It was the idea that Parliament, a legislature in which no American members sat, nevertheless had, in theory, a broad, plenary, comprehensive legislative authority to pass any law affecting Americans in their daily lives. The issue began as a very serious, actually very fast-moving constitutional debate in the mid-1760s. Americans developed their positions pretty quickly. They left a couple of aspects unrefined, as did the British. But by 1766, and certainly by the late 1760s, the essential argument was there. Americans increasingly were inclined to hold that the only proper political or constitutional link between the American colonies and the British metropolitan empire lay through the king. And Parliament had no right to govern Americans in any respect, with the possible exception that laws regulating commerce should be passed by Parliament and accepted by the colonists if they were fairly deliberated and enacted. So that controversy erupted in the mid-1760s. The positions got pretty advanced pretty early on. But to say that you had these advanced positions, that the British were prepared to say Parliament ultimately has sovereign authority, Americans have no basis for resisting, for Americans to say Parliament has no authority except what we're willing to concede them. It's one thing to work out that position, the abstract. It's another thing to say that it's actually going to be the basis for a cause of action. So I think the problem of explaining the American Revolution pivots on understanding why this big theoretical claim that was developed in the 1760s became an active source of controversy in the mid-1770s. The critical moment, I think, came after the Boston Tea Party, when Parliament decided that, first the government of King George III, his leading minister, Lord North, the men around them, decided that Massachusetts had to be punished severely for its general defiance of imperial policy and the specific acts that led to the Tea Party. So at that point, Parliament passed a raft of legislation that was really designed to punish Massachusetts. The Americans rallied to the cause of Massachusetts. At that point, what had been a somewhat abstract controversy back in the 1760s now really became the focus of debate. And once you push the debate that far, once the British took the steps they did to punish and isolate Massachusetts in the way that they did, and the other colonies rallied to support Massachusetts, there's really no pulling back from a controversy that was basically insoluble. There was no way, short of having open, direct negotiations, to work out the differences between the two countries, to get over the conflicting claims. So I think it was that controversy that was really the key source of the revolution. It's a little hard for modern readers to grasp this. In some ways it seems like a very theoretical debate. Why would people worry that much about seemingly abstract principles? But the way in which the issue came to be framed left it really without any resolution.
Constitutional Conversations is made possible by a generous grant from the Fairleigh S. Dickinson Jr. Foundation. Constitutional Conversations is made possible by the James Madison Education Fund.